Okay, are x and y both positive? You might be tempted to rephrase this as is x, y greater than 0? But it's not exactly that, because, I mean, that'll tell that they have the same sign, but it will include situations where they're both negative, so we don't want to quite do that. We just want to leave it as is. Are x and y both positive? Well, okay, number 1, 2x, let's divide by 2, so we get x minus y equals 1/2. Well, okay, that's clearly not going to be sufficient on its own, and just to draw out the cases, because it could save you time to draw out a couple of cases, even seeing that it's still not sufficient, and then see how the two statements combine to eliminate cases against each other. So let's have a couple of cases. It could be like both positive. X minus y is 2.5 minus 2, gives you 1/2. Or it could be that they're both negative. Negative 1 minus negative 1.5 gives me positive 1/2. So I don't know whether they're both positive or both negative. So that's not sufficient. Number 2, x over y is greater than 1. Okay, well, that tells you that they're both positive or that they're both negative. It's similar to saying like x, y is greater than 0. They have the same sign. They're both positive or they're both negative. And it also means that x's magnitude is greater than y's, because it can't be like 2 over 3 or negative 2 over negative 3. That's not bigger than 1. It needs to be like 3 over 2 or negative 3 over negative 2 to be bigger than 1. But still, I don't know whether they're both positive or both negative. But I do know that the magnitude of x is greater than the magnitude of y. Okay, well, then let's look at combining them. So that wasn't sufficient on its own. But if we combine them, notice what I had about my cases. For my positive case, yeah, x had to have the bigger magnitude, because y couldn't have greater magnitude, because then when you subtract them, it would make a negative number. So that checks out with number 2, that x's magnitude is bigger than y's. With the negative case, however, you'll notice that the only way I get subtracting 2 negatives to equal a positive number is that I need to subtract off a negative number of greater magnitude to bring it positive. Negative 1 minus negative 1.5, or negative 2 minus negative 2.5. That second negative number, y, would need to have greater magnitude in order to flip positive and then bring it up to positive 1/2. So looking at number 2, knowing that x's magnitude is bigger, this case is out. It can't be that I have 2 negatives, because in that case, y has to have greater magnitude, and number 2 tells me x has greater magnitude. It can only be case 1. They're both positive. This is C.